Good morning and welcome to the Sports Daily, broadcasting statewide from Kununurra in the north to Esperance in the south. We look forward to having your company for the next 3.5 hours. The Sports Daily is hosted from the studios of Tab Radio at 14 Hasler Road, Osborne Park. News, views, interviews. We will have it covered on the Sports Daily.
Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up, punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up if you got the feeling. Jump up, touch the ceiling, monks, let's up on fluff. Someone's fucking junk, yo, I'll bust them in the eye. And then I'll take the punks out, feeling funky. Amps in the trunk and I got more rhymes than this cops at a junkie. Donut shop, sure enough, I got props from the kids on the hill with my mom and my pops. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around, jump up and get down.
Good morning and welcome to the Sports Daily on this Friday morning, the 3rd of October. Taylor Cortland with you and joining me this morning, Digby Beecham. Diggers, how do you do?
I'm very well, TC. I'm going very well, thank you. I hope you are as well. And to all of our listeners on this Friday, happy Friday, because it's a big Friday ahead and a massive weekend ahead, is it not?
Yes, absolutely. It's a big Friday ahead and even bigger Saturday ahead as well. All those nursing headaches up in Kalgoorlie. Good luck today. Just get through the day.
Yes.
Maybe find a pub feed somewhere. Parmigiana.
Yeah. Or just and something with chips.
Yeah, chips.
Just something with chips. A burger and chips.
Yeah, chicken roll from Chicken Treat, something like that.
Yeah, just something.
Yeah, fill yourself up because you need to go again tomorrow.
Yeah, or today.
Probably today.
This afternoon.
Get down to the Tats Club today, of course.
Oh, yes, the car park.
Yep.
Just rock up.
Diggers has said throughout the week.
You'll be fine. Shayne will look after you.
Yeah, Shayne, I'll pass on Diggers' number a little bit later on. So if everyone rocks up and it turns into a little bit of a you-know-what show, you can blame him. But, of course, the boys, Rusty and Marty, are there for Drive. There's the annual barbecue there. At lunchtime there at the Tats Club. So it's in full swing at Kalgoorlie. I dare say the golf course is probably getting a little bit more action than it normally would.
I agree with that, yeah.
There should be a few people up there playing. Maybe not today, actually.
Yeah, maybe not today, but yeah, very warm up there today, and it was a wonderful day's racing at Kalgoorlie yesterday, Hannon's Day. Congratulations to Neville Parnham, Lakdar Romilly with Multinational, who led throughout. A few nervous moments if you were like Snoz and were aboard Multinational, because boy, did he run off the track inside the final 75 metres.
Yeah, exactly right. We'll dive deep into the Hannon's handicap just after we get to the weather, but I don't want to bring it up, Diggers, but you did mention a couple of horses there that couldn't win the Hannon's yesterday.
Exactly. I said Multinational was one. I think Coley
was in at the time. So.
And Secret Attire.
You got 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, so I got that. The one that couldn't won the race, and the one that I thought could win the race ran second. So it was wonderful.
No, unreal. Well, you made up for it in the last.
Yeah, that was heavily commissioned, wasn't it? Lavish Charm. We $2.25 yesterday, then got out to $2.30, but ended up jumping at $1.60, $1.65, something like that. So yeah, she for mine was the best and duly saluted. And I would think it's fair to say with that racing pattern, she's going to be winning more races than that.
All right, we'll work through that. We'll work through Beat the Tipsters too during the show, and hopefully by the end of the show we'll let the winner know that they have won, draw that out, and if not, we'll link up with you on text message throughout the morning to get your details and hopefully get you a voucher to spend on the weekend. We've got the NBL to discuss. There was a bit going on in the AFL world with best and fairest last night in Brisbane. There's plenty of news coming out of there. Ange Postecoglou overnight, I think we're up to 6 or 7 games without a victory just yet for Nottingham Forest. They played in the Europa League, so they were no good. We've got the NFL on this morning, and as you heard in the news bulletin there, Zach Merritt did front up to Essendon Best and Fairest and collected another Best and Fairest for the Essendon Football Club. So I will talk about that as well. Coming up on the Sports Daily, of course, we've got our tipsters. We've got Ben Asgari filling in from Victoria. We'll take a look at that Turnbull Stakes meeting, which is an absolute cracker. We've got Kris Nelson and also Ron Dufficy. No Shorty. We've got Shane Williams along, but no Shorty. I think school holidays. He's having a little bit of a spell, as you can imagine. And then the Hour of Power, we've got Gary Portelli, Chris Lees, Clint McDonald, and and also John McArdle as well. Takes 2 last start winners to the races there at Flemington. Yum in the Manifold, My Gladiola in the Danehill. And then locally?
Yes, we are going to be chatting to Stephen Miller, Shaun McGruddy and Shaun Casey. So looking forward to having a chat to those 3 boys because they've got a pretty significant part to play, you would think, up there tomorrow in Kalgoorlie.
Absolutely. And then the Gloucester Park preview after 8 o'clock. Big night here, the $150,000 Tap Touch WA Oaks at the headline tonight. So the boys will dive into all the form there post 8 o'clock on the Gloucester Park preview here on the Sports Daily. A big Friday show ahead. Have your say, 0427 789 571 on anything that's happened in the last 24 hours, or if you've got a tip for us over the weekend, let us know on the text line. We'll get out to the weather and we'll come back with some of the big overnight news stories.
Wave Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Taylor Cortland and Digby Beecham with you on this Friday morning. And, of course, being Friday morning diggers,
Yes.
we need the tipping races.
We do. And I'm thinking someone's going to get 5. There you
Wow.
go. I think someone can get 5 this
So
week.
the Epsom's in there?
It is SR8 the Epsom, SR9 the Metrop,
Oh,
MR8 the Turnbull, and then the 2 features in Kalgoorlie tomorrow. CR7 the Golden Saddle and CR8 the Kalgoorlie Cup. I think a lot of people will probably arrive with very similar horses, I reckon. There'll be Autumn Glow, Magnificent Andy will be popular either. Sentimental Hero or Starry Heights is going to be popular.
all right. When I check that on Monday morning
Yes.
and there's 4, it's a 4-way tie,
Yes.
I'll let you deal with it.
Can we jackpot it?
What, so there's 4 winners and then we don't give anything away?
No. We can do something. We'll work on something. But maybe is it the first one in?
I said I'd leave it up with you.
All right. I'll come up with a decision. I'll speak to people. I'll speak to my people. Don't you
Who's
worry
your
about it.
people.
No.
He's at the whacker now.
Tom. Good morning, Tom. Hope he's going well. They tell me he's enjoying his job.
Oh, well, he gets to be
Sleep
around
in.
cricket all the time and sleep in.
He gets to sleep in.
Yeah, talk cricket. Unreal.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't be a hater.
Oh,
No. Come on. You want to talk about football? Or did you want to talk about the Wildcats?
I wanted to talk about Kalgoorlie yesterday.
Oh,
The
good.
Hannons.
Yes, what did you make of it?
Multinational beat Secret Attraction, Cool Memory, Captain Chaos. I know what you said yesterday, and it was a good ride from Lactar. Got the horse out of the gates perfectly, got to the front.
Yes.
That's where you needed to be on the day.
Yes, you
needed
did.
to be very close to the speed.
Yep.
So things can change. So in the morning, I think what you said, Multinational, and clearly the market agreed, was up against it. But as the day went on, I think his chances improved based off the fact he was going to be always up on speed, and it was a day where it was pretty tough to make ground. I know in the morning I kicked up for Russian at the bar. I think his chances were done pretty earlier in the day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
From where he was going to settle, it was going to be awfully difficult for him to win. I'm not trying to take anything away from Multinational. He's a horse that should be racing at this level, and his best is clearly at this level.
Yep.
He's a very nice horse. He's been a very good horse for a very long time. Well done to him and Lactar. But I think the conditions on the day suited, and he was able to take advantage.
Yeah, he was. And one thing he did do, he jumped the gates. Absolutely slingshotted out of the gates, did Multinational. Found the spot where he needed to be. Secret Attraction, a little bit slow to step. Cool Memory, who had been leading quite comfortably down here in the metro area whilst winning some good races, wasn't able to get there. And I think what you saw with Cool Memory yesterday, he just doesn't let down on those tracks like he does when he can get his toe in. But Multinational got to the top, even though he was hanging noticeably in the straight, was still far too strong for Secret Attraction. The margin was a quarter of a length. It felt bigger than that. Secret Attraction did everything right, but was unable to get past Multinational. Cool Memory, no, not Captain Chaos from a rearward position, found the line very, very well. Continues to have an excellent preparation, this old boy, for Peter Chiadresco and also Troy Turner placing fourth, beaten 2.5. Rockanori, no excuses. Every conceivable, I would have thought, where he landed, Rockanori. But no, full credit to Multinational. Terrific win.
All right, you touched on Lavish Charm to win the last. You expecting that horse to go on to bigger and better things? It was very soft. Look, did find the top again and was able to control that race, kick off the corner and proved very hard to run down, but it was a soft victory.
Yeah, it was. He's a very nice horse. There's no blue there. What we saw when he won the maiden was a horse who was clearly better than maiden grade, winning that by 4.5 lengths. And there yesterday, again, found the right spot. He did, but he jumped, he ran, he travelled, he kicked, and that's maiden a Class 2 company. That's the natural jump you have to make in Kalgoorlie. But to win by more than 2 lengths, the time was good, considerably quicker than what we saw when breaking that maiden victory. Mm-hmm. So watch for him. He might be a horse. Like a lot of these Andrew Ingles-owned horses trained by Peter, they can really go through their grades. They're quite progressive.
Yep. And we spoke about that special there yesterday, that Tab Touch. We're offering $2 for Without Remorse to run first or second. So you got a little bit of insurance there. Did run second without remorse, but if you did hear Peter Fernie on Wednesday, what you're talking about was one of 2 horses with the Lavish Charm in the last that he sort of threw out that he thought would be pretty hard to beat. And what you're talking about went there in the third and was far too good in the Built by Jeff maiden.
He said badly named, but can gallop, that horse, and he found the top and gave nothing else a chance. So, no, well done there, and it pays to listen to TAB Radio because Peter was very upfront.
Yep, absolutely, and he was obviously lost a bet there at some stage. He had Andrew's jacket on after a post-race interview and his hat for some odd reason.
Yes, Andrew can wear a very loud jacket, and Peter was sporting it after the win. I think it was of Just Famous.
Yeah, well, speaking of horses that did make a little bit of ground, it looked a little bit messy in that race. They didn't go overly quick, and Lucy Fiore was back in traffic. Didn't look like she had many options, but she was able to extricate, and then the turn of foot that Just Famous showed on a day where they weren't really coming from further back than maybe fourth in the run. That was a nice win by Just Famous.
It was. So, no, good day's racing, and now all eyes will be on Saturday. Obviously, Kalgoorlie Cup, the Ron Sayers, and the inaugural running of the $1 million Golden Saddle.
All right, we might have a discussion around some of those feature races just before 7 o'clock because, of course, as we mentioned before, David Short is on holidays, not on the show this morning. Football-wise, we had a bit going on at Essendon, a bit going on at Brisbane, a bit going on at Melbourne. Where would you like to start?
I think the Clayton Oliver situation's intriguing, to put it mildly, TC. We heard yesterday, and we floated it, with Sam Edmund reporting that Clayton Oliver had been summoned to a meeting with Stephen King, who's embarking on his first season at the helm of the Melbourne Football Club, and that meeting lasted a little over 10 minutes, and Clayton Oliver was told that he was no guarantee of playing as an inside midfielder anymore, even though he is contracted until the end of 2030 on a deal worth in the vicinity of 1.3, 1.4 million a year, and Melbourne, quite open, said we're happily going forward to pay half of your salary. So other clubs have then gone, okay, now we'll do our due diligence with Clayton Oliver. GWS seem to be very keen. Other clubs have been linked to Clayton Oliver. I think he was flying to Sydney, then to America to get away and have a bit of a break. But this is going to be a completely contrasting-looking Melbourne side, isn't it, in 2026, if Stephen May finds a new home, Judd McVie heads west, Christian Petrarca finds a new home, and no Clayton Oliver.
So it looks like when Stephen King came out earlier on and said they'd be retaining a lot of their experienced players, he just got that wrong, unfortunately. He said that too early, because now he's obviously sat down with the list management team and they've decided to go a little bit of a different direction, which I personally think they're going in the right direction. I think they need to rejuvenate, but also on the flip side, it's not a great time to be trying to go to the draft, is it, after what we heard with Tasmania yesterday? If you're trying to get a lot of young talent into the football club, it's going to be pretty difficult from 27 to 29.
Well, it is, because you know what's happening with Tasmania and the concessions that they're going to be handed. So I'm not sure of the list strategy at Melbourne. I'm confused by that football club, and there seems to be mixed messaging, and not for the first time. Would that be right? Like Simon Goodwin.
All year, to be fair, that board's been sort of disconnected from the football department, hasn't it?
Well, and I think also that football department, i.e. the match committee under Simon Goodwin, what sort of football were you trying to play? He was trying to implement a game plan which was a bit more offensive, but they were all about contest and defence, weren't they, under Simon Goodwin? And then they sort of tried to shift. They tried to implement some youth, but they didn't want to get rid of Oliver last year. it's like you've got Taylor Cortland saying something, Digby Beecham saying something, Brad Green, the interim Melbourne president, saying something, the coach saying something completely different, and yet we're all trying to win a game of football on the weekend. And it's just, if you're a Melbourne player, if you're Max Gawn, you're going, what's going on here? What is actually occurring? I've just won another BNF last month. Christian ran second. Clayton was in the votes. So at this stage, Max Gawn is going to be playing for a Melbourne side next season that in all likelihood is a bottom 4 to 6 side.
Yeah, bottom 4?
When your incoming coach said 3 weeks ago, that we expect to be contending and or playing finals next year.
Oh, well, he's just got that wrong, hasn't he?
Well, maybe he thinks he can turn it around quickly. I don't know. But then...
Well, and Petrarca was out of their hands a little bit. He wants a fresh start. He wants to move on. So it's out of their hands a little bit. Clayton Oliver, is it such a bad thing for Melbourne if he does move on?
No, I'm not adverse to that. But it's like, what's going on? So who's a priority at that football club? Max Gawn and who?
I think young talent's a priority, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of it.
Well, they got some in.
They've got some. Windsor's shown enough early on. Langford's certainly shown enough.
Yeah,
shown more than enough.
Yeah.
So if they go along those lines, and look, you can't sort of sit on your hands for 1 year and then wait for the 26 draft and then hopefully go to 27, because 27, you're probably thinking that we're not going to get too much in 27. We're going to have to trade some players to get some good picks with Tasmania. So if you're going to do it, you need to do it now.
Isn't there going to be some activity when free agency opens this morning, 7 o'clock WA time? So the first couple of contracts that will be signed and sealed off, or signed off and sealed, will be Silvani and De Koning, and then you've got compensation picks then going to Carlton. That first round draft it could extend into the more high 20s. How would you know?
Yeah.
Brandon Starcevich, that was confirmed. Chris Fagan last night at the Lions BNF said Cal Archie and Brandon Starcevich will take up their respective offers at West Coast and Adelaide.
Spoke brilliantly, Chris Fagan, about it as well. It's
super mature. Yep, brilliant.
Now they've won a couple of grand finals in a row, so it probably puts you in a position where you're able to speak about your players like that and give them a perfect send-off. It's a little bit different to what's happening there at Essendon, but Devon Robinson's nominated to West Coast as well. So Brandon Starcevich will get to West Coast, Devon Robinson will get to West Coast, and Callum Archie will get to Adelaide.
Yes, Callum Archie's been tabled a 5-year offer from the Adelaide.
Callum Archie? 27.
Jeez.
I thought he was older than that.
27. Played every game the last 2 years.
Wow.
It's a good effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what's that, 54 games he's played.
Fantastic pick-up for Adelaide.
Yeah, and been good in big games, hasn't he?
Oh, really good.
Yep.
Well, I think he kicked 10 goals in the finals last year.
Yeah, he was super. So, no, he's a former first-rounder, top 10er, wasn't he? So, no, he's really flourished in the back half of his career.
Yep, a little bit awkward at Essendon, but Zach Merritt won the best and fairest there overnight as well.
6th Crichton medal for Zach Merritt, one of the greatest players that football club's ever seen. There's a lot of attempt at reconnecting, isn't there, between the Essendon Football Club and the hierarchy, be it Brad Scott, Andrew Welsh and Zach Merritt and his camp. And Brad Scott there again last night expressing love and care that we have for Zach Merritt, and Zach Merritt then saying, look, he understands that he's a required player. And
how ironic, Brad Scott was injured at the best and fairest. He had his arm in a sling.
Yeah.
Everyone on the list has been injured.
Oh, yeah. So, look, he wins a 6th Crichton medal. Max Holmes, a 2nd BNF at Geelong. Josh Dunkley capped off a wonderful season for Brisbane, winning the Murray Merit Medal. Isaac Heaney, a 2nd Bob Skilton. And Tom Green, his first BNF up there in GWS.
Is there anything better in football than a best and fairest in a premiership year?
Nope. Nothing.
Better than the Brownlow?
I would think, well, in light of what's going on with the Brownlow. But it's a special accomplishment when you are crowned the best player at your football club, when that football club celebrates a premiership, because you've done everything right, clearly, in the eyes of the coaches.
I still love a Norm Smith. I reckon to be the best player on the ground in a grand final.
Well, Will Ashcroft, talking of that, he won his 2nd Norm Smith there last Saturday. He ran 3rd in the BNF. Hugh McCluggage was runner-up.
Yeah, yep. I would have put my money on Hugh McCluggage to win their best and fairest. He's been outstanding, but no knock Josh Dunkley. Right, we'll get out to a couple of messages from our sponsors. We'll get into the tips on the other side of the news.
Make Tab Radio your station of choice each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Tyler Cortland and Digby Beecham with you on the Sports Daily this morning. Of course, being a Friday morning, we do have the tipping competition over the weekend, Diggers, and you're in charge of those tipping races, and you've expected and you've told our listeners you need 5 to win.
I think you'll need, put it this way, anything less than 4 won't get it done, unless we're looking at some major upsets. Would that be fair?
Yeah, but it's racing. There's always major upsets.
Yes, exactly.
I heard commentary yesterday that multinational couldn't win the Hannons.
Yes. Who would have said that? What an absolute deal. MR8 the Turnbull, SR8 the Epsom, SR9 the Metrop, and then at Kalgoorlie, CR7 and CR8 the Golden Saddle in the Kalgoorlie Cup.
All right, Ben Asgari looking at Victoria, Kris Nelson, Queensland, Ron Dufficy, New South Wales for racing tomorrow, Saturday. Metropolitan Racing tips not too far away. Just before we get there, the NBL overnight. There was 2 games there yesterday. The Wildcats, they got the job done. It was a real shaky start from the Wildcats, but they got things going eventually. They were down 10 at quarter time. They'd only put 10 points on the board and then completely flipped the script in quarter number 2, put up 34 points to go into the halftime break up. And then they restricted the Hawks to just 13 points in the third quarter. From there, that was a pretty comfortable ride home. So the middle part of the game really good for the Wildcats. Still a little bit clunky, but showing signs, I think. Showing good signs.
Yeah, so look, they're still not seamless, are they? And that's probably to be expected.
A lot of the teams are like that, to be fair.
Yeah, you're right. And it's we all expect them just to be, humming. Well, they're not. And the Wildcats fit that category. But you're right. 8-point wins. Joe Luell, Achul, terrific, 22. Dylan Windler again, 16 points, 14.
Your man,
yeah, he's
16 and 14, outstanding.
And that follows what was a really big game in New Zealand last Saturday as well. So he was quiet in game 1. His games 2 and 3 have been good. Christian Doolittle, solid, 17 points, 9 rebounds. JaVale McGee for Illawarra off the back of what he had in his first performance there for Illawarra on Saturday, which was ridiculous, 30-odd points and a heap of boards. He's had 26 and 14 last night. He's a player that we haven't seen the like of, I don't think, in the NBL for a long period of time. I can't recall that imposing figure, that imposing 5-man that JaVale McVee is. And you could see early on the Wildcats, they were taking a lot of perimeter shots because they know if they go down low, he's there, the presence of him. And maybe it's not only the physical presence, but what he's been able to achieve in his career and the standing that he's held in. But, gee whiz, there'll be a game where, if we're nearly seen it already, but he'll have 20 and 20. Like he's going to have.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a special player, and the NBL was very fortunate to have him. And earlier on, Adelaide 110 beat Cairns 79. Bryce Cotton, as he so often does against the Taipans, lit them up. He had 28 points, 7 assists, 5 steals. Yeah. They shot the lights out, the 36ers.
I think he had 28 points in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah,
too. I don't think he scored in the last quarter, so they put him on ice. All right, we'll take a look at racing on Saturday now in Flemington. What a massive day of racing it is from headquarters, from racing.com, joining us with all his best bets. Ben Asgari, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for making yourself available, Ben. Great to have a chat. Big day ahead at headquarters. What's the weather looking like?
Yeah, weather's looking unseasonably warm, actually. So we've had a pretty ordinary week in Melbourne, but we're up to 25 degrees, just light winds, sunny. So, I think we'll be kicking off on a good 4 on Saturday. Rail goes out 9 metres, but, Flemington's been in such great nick that I don't think that's going to have any sort of an impact on who wins the races.
All right, 10 races on the program. Do you have a couple of suggested bets on the program for us?
I do, yeah. Best bet for me comes up in race 5 with On Display, who... Look, I was pretty keen on Lazura last time out, and I think I was pretty fortunate, to be honest. I think On Display was travelling better than Lazura. I think she was travelling like the winner, and then she was badly held up back to the inside. So I think had she got clear, she probably would have won that race. She draws wider. There's not much speed in the race, but given her turn of foot, I actually don't mind the fact that it's going to be a potentially slowly run race. And if they can get a 3-wide line, even better if she can get onto the back of that. So I think On Display is the best bet on the program there at Flemington. For those looking for a little bit more value, I think there's a couple in the last race in Cafe Millennium and Von Hawk that fit that bill. Cafe Millennium's just been airborne since joining the Lindsay Park team. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. Everything from even his first jump out to his trial to his first up run, everything he's done's been terrific, and he's beaten a couple of good horses in his last two starts. Transatlantic last time, who put a gap on third and subsequently pushed Evaporate in the Sandown Stakes, and 2 starts ago he raced right away from Splashback. So I think $6, he should be shorter than that. I like the wide draw for him. He's a horse that needs galloping room. And then Von Hawk was another horse you can have something smaller in that race. He was terrific last week. He's on the quick backup, and he gets back. He's a low percentage horse, but he's a big price for a horse that ran as well as he did last Saturday.
Yeah, Von Hawk at $19 with Tab Touch currently, and $7 and $2.45 about Cafe Millennium, who's going for a hat-trick of wins. Before I ask you about the Group 1s, that's all the suggested bets you've got, Ben?
Oh, no, there's a few more there. They're probably the best of them. But look, I think if you're with She's an Artist in race 1 when she resumed at $1.90, I think you've got to stick with her race 1 again tomorrow. She was first up off 1 jump out, sitting on a hot speed and just tied a little late. You get a better price now in a more suitable race with less pace, and you get Blake Shinn on. So, look, I think 260 is more appealing than the odds on first up for She's an Artist. The other horses that I thought represented a little bit of value on the program, race 4, Just Kick. It was a pretty good effort last time out against the boys. Now back against her own sex. She's double figures, and I'm pretty keen to be against the main form lines in that race. So you have something on race 4, number 6, Just Kick as well.
Beautiful. Currently at $10. What are you thinking in the Turnbull?
Well, I think that clearly the best horse in the country is Via Sistina, but I'm not sure I want to take 250 tomorrow. A, it's not grand final day, and B, she came through a slowly run Wink Stakes first up. Then second up, we know the Makybe Diva was just a bit of a farce. It was more like a barrier trial than an actual race. So she goes third up to 2,000 metres, not grand final day, off 2 really soft runs. So the question's got to be whether she's just half a run short below her best, and she's also drawn the inside barrier, which I think probably is the worst draw for her. So with that in mind, I think the stablemate Eliana has the same concern. She also comes through the 2 slowly run races. I'm going to be with Antino at the double figures that were available. Don't know if he's still that. He's close enough to it. I think he probably has the advantage of residual fitness from the Queensland winter. He raced a bit deeper into that preparation than those mares were able to do, and he also came through a fast run race first up in the Memsey. So I think he might have a fitness advantage over those horses, and if Blake Shinn is able to use that advantage, push the button early, he might be the one that represents some value in the Turnbull. I'm not sure they'll be able to hold out Via Sistina come grand final day, but maybe the day to get her beaten could be tomorrow.
All right there. So Antino for Ben in what promises to be an enthralling Turnbull Stakes. Could we lean on you for some quaddie numbers, please, Ben?
You can indeed. I think in the first leg we're just going to take the 2. The 15 Gilded Water, who he's there to win, given he needs to win to get into the Melbourne Cup, and then Revelara is just such a good horse. So I don't know if there's the intent to win because he's eligible for a penalty, but he's got such a good map, he's such a good horse, and maybe the idea for Revelara is to try and get the victory and block another good horse getting into the Melbourne Cup. So just the 2 in the first leg. So race 7, go 15 and 2. In the Turnbull, we'll go 1, 4, 7 and 3. They're the big 4 in the Turnbull. I'd be very surprised if something won out of those 4. Gilgai Stakes, 8, 13, 1 and 7. So Nadal, who's first up, got J-Mac in the saddle. He's got a big turn of foot as he showed last preparation. Star Patrol looks back based on the first up run. He goes in. War Machine, he's been just in fantastic form since joining the Lindsay Park stable. He jumped out impressively. And Royal Insignia, the best roughie there in the Gilgai Stakes, so 8, 13, 1 and 7. And then we come home with 3, 9, 10, 4 and 14. So Cafe Millennium, Media World, Von Hawk, Amenable and Helix.
Beautiful. So 15 and 2 into 1, 4, 7 and 3. Third leg, 8, 13, 1 and 7. And finally, 3, 9, 10, 4 and 14 at Flemington for Ben Asgari. Tomorrow, the quaddie numbers. Thank you very much for your time, Ben. Greatly appreciated. We'll let you get back to babysitting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my youngest. Just not happy that I'm on the phone.
Have a good day. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
There's Ben Asgari. Oh, I'll just hang up there. Unfortunately, he's missed the quaddie there, though.
Why?
Wester?
Yeah, he's arrived over there safely. Simon Miller's there. I spoke to Simon yesterday and also Wednesday. Very happy with the way the horse has settled in. Very happy with also the draw.
Yeah.
Damien Lane will have options. Middle of the straight down there at Flemington. But, yeah, all is in order and no complaints whatsoever. So the horse has settled in nice and bright, so Simon's happy.
All right, good report there. Down the straight too, you had a look down there, all okay?
Yes, he's had a look down the straight, had that jump out. He wasn't asked to do much by Harry Coffey last week, but he's had a look, so clearly he's, going to be exposed to something completely different tomorrow as opposed to that jump out, but he has had a look, which is important.
All right, beautiful.
The Sports Daily presents Kris Nelson with his look at Queensland racing.
Good morning to you, Kris Nelson.
Good morning, Taylor. Good morning, Digby.
Great to have a chat. Kris, good morning to you. We're back at Doomben tomorrow.
Yeah, we haven't been at Doomben for a few weeks. We've been out of town the last couple of weeks. Gold Coast a fortnight back. And, of course, Toowoomba with their big day last Saturday. So good to get back to metro meetings. Doomben, the track will be, well, I reckon will be at a firm at some stage during the day. They've been pumping water into the track. 10 mils overnight between Wednesday and Thursday. There would have been more again overnight we've just had because the weather's so dry. It hasn't rained for well over 2 weeks and it doesn't look as though there's any on the way. So a good track is assured. It might even get 2 or 3.
All right, nice and fast at Doomben. How many specials are we taking a look at?
Let's have a look at 4 races tomorrow. We'll kick it off in race 2, number 6, Hayoka. I thought it looked quite well placed in this race. The last start was a good effort. That was a third at the Gold Coast behind Surprise Honey. Just that last little bit of the race, so I saw this mare sort of pick up and make a little bit of ground. She was beaten less than a length on that occasion. I think the step up to 1350 tomorrow is ideal for her. She has won up to 1,400 metres. She's won here at the track and she draws a pretty good gate, I'd say, for Daniel Moore. He should be able to get her across and probably one off the fence. Not too far from the lead, and there don't look to be too many that are going forward here. So I think maps well placed in the race, in form, and the step up in distance certainly an advantage. So race 2, number 6, Hayoka is the first of the specials.
The second of them would be?
Well, I'll take a punt here. Race 3, number 7, Keitel, Digby. Now, this is a benchmark 90. On the map, there is absolutely no leader whatsoever. Now, we often find in these races that that's the case on paper. And then all the connections and the jockeys have a chat and they all decide they want to lead and we end up with a race that's got pace that we didn't think would have any pace. So I'm hoping that is the case tomorrow because number 7, Keitel, has been going quite well since coming up here from New South Wales. Now, 2 runs this time in. A third at Doomben first up behind Blazing Boots was good. Sat back last and then sprinted home in a sprint home. Was never going to get to the winner but was only beaten a length. The effort was good. Then he went to the Sunshine Coast, his new home track. Sat back last again, reeled them in down the outside. So don't expect this one to go forward. However, he has a short, sharp sprint. And if he's close enough, or if they do put a bit of tempo into the race, I think he's got a good each-way chance. So race 3, number 7, Keitel, definitely on an each-way basis.
All right, currently $4.60 with Tab Touch. And then where do we go?
Race 4, first upper here, number 10, Pharaoh's Prophecy. When I say first up, we haven't seen him since the 6th of August. So not a long break. But it's just a nice little freshen up. He won his first 2 starts of the prep, both here at Doomben, 1350 and 1650. Beaten last time out, but beaten by Make a Call. Now, we've seen Make a Call come out and win twice since. Make a Call was racing very, very well. Pharaoh's Prophecy's had a trial recently at the Sunshine Coast, went straight to the front, cruised along, was never going to be run down, has a good first start record. Again, Daniel Moore will take the ride. Good overall record. We'll roll forward here again, sit on the speed, and I think it'll be very hard to run down. So race 4, number 10, Pharaoh's Prophecy.
And your final selection, please.
Race 8, number 13. Now, we're going to need some luck here, so we will back this one each way, and that is Chalice Well. Now, she's racing in terrific form of late. She won consecutive races, Gatton, then brought that form to town and won at Doomben, beating Lady Lucifer. She ran second behind Troika last time out here over 11.10. Now, she sat 3 wide the entire trip. She was entitled to fade down the straight, but she did a really good job sticking onto the line, and she was beaten officially 0.06 of a length, so basically an eyelash. Very good effort. Now, she's drawn wide tomorrow. She will need luck from out there. Things need to pan out, but she's certainly got the right form to win the race. So, as I said, we'll back her each way, but I think if things do pan out, she'll probably go close to winning the race. So, number 13 in race number 8, that is Chalice Well.
Tab Touch currently at $9.50. Just before we get your quaddie, Kris, if you were to nominate one best bet out of those 4, which one would it be?
I would go with Hayoka, race 2, number 6.
Okay, race 2, number 6. All right. Now, Hayoka won't be part of the quaddie legs, but we'll still get your numbers, please.
First leg, Digby, 15, 6, 11 and 9. Second leg, 15, doesn't happen often, 3, 1 and 2. The third leg, 13, 6, 17 and 9. And we will come home with numbers 7, 5 and 14. I've thrown a few in there because we do get many, many scratchings come Saturday morning.
With some of those numbers, it's like Melbourne Cup Day, Kris.
It is, isn't it? It certainly is.
All right.
Oh, well, it should pay all right if they get up.
Fingers crossed. Randwick, do you have a thought on the Group 1s?
Yeah, look, you asked me the other day about Autumn Glow. You know, I just think class racehorses come to the top in these big races. So I'll take the punt from the wide gate that Kieran McAvoy finds somewhere with cover. So I'm going to stick with her, race 8, number 4, Autumn Glow. I think Apocalyptic, I don't see how they possibly beat her in the flight. She should be unbeaten. I think she's a really, really promising filly. So I think she's winning, but look, she's no spoil at the price. The other one there, race 7, I'm going to go with Jimmy Star to knock over Briasa. I can't have Private Harry. I've jumped right off him. Briasa's going to be in front of Jimmy Star in the run, but small field, he's got a really sharp sprint, this guy, Jimmy Star. I wouldn't be surprised if he got home over the top of Briasa. So I'll go with Jimmy Star in the other race there, the sprint. I'll give you a couple of odds. Race 9, number 10, the Metrop. Number 10, Etna Rosso. So race 9, number 10. And race 4, the Dulcify, number 5, Officiate. I reckon they'll both run well at big odds.
All right, beautiful. There we go. Lovely. We got Federalists going around in the Bob and Sandra Peter colours too there in the Dulcify, so hopefully didn't get too much luck there back in the Ming Dynasty, so hopefully gets a little bit more luck and shows the best version of himself. Good luck Saturday, Kris. We'll catch up next week.
Thanks, boys. Enjoy your weekend.
There's Kris Nelson. Hopefully you've got still some ink left in your pen. He's thrown out a few tips left, right and centre there. We did get through Doomben. We're now taking a closer look at Randwick with Ron Dufficy. Ron, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Great to have a chat, Ron. Good morning to you. Are we going to be on a good track at Randwick tomorrow?
Yeah, they've been watering every day where the temperatures have really risen the last week or two. And, we've had a dry week and all looks clear for tomorrow. So a good track for sure.
All right, good news. Who's the best bet on the program?
I think the best bet, although I'm hoping for a better price, I want black odds, but race 7, number 2, Briasa. I think he comes out of the fast race. The Shorts was a much faster race and a higher rating race than the Concord. I think that he maps beautifully behind the 2 leaders here in Mazu and Private Harry. Gets every opportunity. He won the TJ Smith at this track and distance second up last preparation, and he's trending that way to put in another big performance here. So I think he's the bet of the day. I think the best value is in race 5, and that is a horse here, number 8, Pocketing. Now, he's had a couple of runs back, this horse. He's been ridden a little bit negatively. I think he's done enough. He's ready to be pushed into the race now. He can go forward. He's led in the past, and I really think he won the Tulloch Stakes last preparation, and at double-figure odds, he matched quite nicely, and I think he's going to run a bold race here. So race 5, number 8, Pocketing. And probably the other bet I want to have is in the last, each way, Raikkonen. He's looking at a lovely silver golden eagle type of horse, and he's trailed up nicely, and he's here to run boldly in what looks a very competitive race.
All right, so those are the 3. Now, can we please get your quaddie numbers?
A quaddie, well, I'm going 1 out in the first leg, and that is with Briasa, number 2, so 2 only in race 7. Race 8, Well, she's very likeable, Autumn Glow. I think she's short enough, and I think there's a lot of competition here. So I've got to go wide here, and there might be a spread along the way. But I'm 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2. So 5 horses in the Epsom. And that's Autumn Glow, Pierre, who will get a lot closer to her. Thought he was fantastic first up, looking above himself in condition. Will he do it? Has been set up nice and fresh, second up here to do something here. And then you've got to put the 2 lovely horses up the top, the class horses, Chia Wolf and Pericles in. So 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. The Metro, 4 horses, 1, 2, 7 and 18. I'm being a little forgiving for Vauban and Arapaho here. I just think they're the class horses of the field, and they just had to cart the field up to a tearaway leader the other day, and that was just a little bit too much for them. But that'll toughen them up for this grand final here. And to think we're getting, nearly double figure odds, both of them, I think may be worth a play. Other horses to go in, a Birdman, who has beaten the handicapper, but he goes from barrier 1 to barrier 17. And I'm expecting improvement from Juakibo down the bottom, number 18. So 1, 2, 7 and 18. And the last leg, 4 numbers again, 8, 9, 5, 7. As I forecast before, I like Raikkonen here. I think Get a Fix is a good setup, resuming off 2 wins, trialling nicely. Disneck is up and running, number 5, and one of the fitter horses in the race. And the other one to go in is Shangri-La Spring. Once further, but very sharp at the trial. So 8, 9, 5 and 7 in the last. So that'll be 80 combinations.
All right, beautiful. That's to go with just 1 out with number 2 in the first leg into 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2. Third leg, 1, 2, 7 and 18. And as you've just said, they're on 8, 9, 5 and 7 in the final leg. Enjoy Randwick tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
There's Ron Dufficy taking a look at Randwick, repeating those best bets too. The best is Briasa, $1.95 currently with Tab Touch. Race 7, number 2. And then 2 at Nice Value. Race 5, number 8, Pocketing. Race 10, number 8, Raikkonen. They're at $13 and $8 respectively.
Excellent.
All right, 6:30. We'll get out to the traffic. We'll hear from Shayne Williams, and then we'll talk a little bit about some extra news that's just breaking in the last couple of minutes.
On the Sports Daily, the Shayne train's coming into the station. Here's Shayne Williams with his winners for tonight's WA Greyhound Racing.
Good morning to you, Shayne Williams.
Yeah, good morning, Taylor. Good morning, Digby. How are we, boys?
Good. This end, how are you?
Yeah, really well, thanks, Diggs. Good job yesterday, tipping the last winner. Very, what can I say?
Helpful?
Very helpful.
There you go. Helpful. That's a good thing.
Was it helpful?
Yeah, it was helpful. I was there in the pub, tuning home. It was an easy ride, cushy ride. Well done, Diggs.
No, all good. Thank you. Well done for you and the others that found that horse, because I think around 2:20, 2:30 yesterday morning he was Lavish Charm and started very, very short. So the money came for him, and that was to be expected given the way the races were being run there at Kalgoorlie.
All right, what about the specials tonight, Shayne?
Yes, we'll kick things off, gentlemen. Race 4, number 4, Let Me Cook. Racing really well, and it's from a very handy litter. She normally is a lid pinger, and we've seen that 3 runs back when winning in 22.42 from box 6. Now, we need to see her best boxman as that box rise tonight so she can get to the front, and I think she's been racing a much tougher company than this, so I think she can jump, lead and win. Race 4, number 4.
Has Let Me Cook and Cake and Tummy ever raced alongside each other, Shayne?
No, Cake and Tummy won the other night, though.
Yeah.
Very good win. They kept rolling. They went to the front and didn't get tired, so must be on the sugar-free cake or whatever it is.
Sugar-free cake. Oh, what's the point of that? You just don't eat a cake if it's got no sugar in it.
Yeah.
All right, your second, please.
Yeah, race 8, number 4, Aston Walker. Another one for the powerful combination of Cody Charles and Ray Border. These Aston dogs have really gone from strength to strength since they've arrived here in the West, and this bloke was brilliant winning over the shorter 400-metre trip last week. Nice, strong run home on that occasion, so the step up to the 488 won't be any concerns. I think it'll be hard to beat. Race 8, number 4.
All right, he's a half to Tim. Where's the next one?
Race 9, number 8. Now, we can play this one each way. Carter Shaun. He's a dog with a nice engine. He's perfectly drawn wide. can do his thing out there. He really likes to take his time to build the revs up, and that long run into the first corner is perfect for him to go through the gears. And like I said, I think he'll be a decent price each way to have a little nibble. Race 9, number 8 to finish us off.
All right, so who would be the best of those three? Are we thinking race 4?
Yeah, Minwoo Lee, Let Me Cook. Race 4, number 4, Let Me Cook, boys. We've just got to get that pinging start back for her, and she's a litter sister to another Jimmy and Co. Some of that litter that are running around. So very nice litter, and yeah, she's got the early speed to get to the front tonight and dictate from there. A bit like Lavish Charm yesterday.
Fingers crossed. Minwoo Lee, it'd be nice if he starts cooking. Where's he gone? He was 2 under. He finished. He had a round of 70 there on the PGA Tour. They've a couple of people still out on the course, but they've wrapped up there. He's tied 53rd, so he's had 2 under Minwoo Lee today. And the NRL, we need the best first before we get that.
Yeah, Let Me Cook.
Yeah, Let Me Cook.
I was looking up the score.
Now, I did do some homework for you, Taylor, and I think the Clive Churchill medal winner, and Payne Haas from Brisbane Broncos, like he's a front rower. He played 80 minutes last week, and he's probably going to play 80 again, and he can still win, even if Brisbane do get beat, I reckon. I think it'll be a close game, and he could possibly still win on the losing side. So Payne Haas, Clive Churchill medal winner for me.
All right. Did you see what tab touch? What price are we looking at?
I think I've seen 650.
650.
That's
okay.
right.
Who wins?
Did you have a look?
I'm just trying to find it.
I think it'll be a close game. While you're looking, I think it'll be a close game, Diggs. I'm going to lean towards Brisbane, actually. I think they've got a bit of momentum coming into this. And, I just think a few of the Melbourne players, maybe carrying some injuries. And, I think you need to be fully fit to win a grand final. So I'm leaning towards Brisbane, but I think it'll be close either way.
$8.50 with tab touch, Shayne.
$8.
Payne Haas.
Yeah, I robbed you. So that'll be my play for the grand final, boys. Anything planned? I know, Taylor, you probably won't even watch it, but Diggs, you'll be going somewhere to watch it? Or?
No, I'll be watching from home, Shayne. I'm looking forward to it. I've got a little bit of work to do Sunday, a bit of writing to do, but I will be watching that game. I'll put aside a couple of hours, absolutely. I love the NRL grand final. I like the NRL postseason. I think they do an excellent job of it.
Where are we at with Teddy Swims?
Yeah, he's there. I just looked. He just arrived in Sydney today, so I won't be required to go there do the half time.
Thank God. Thank the Lord for small mercies.
Doing a bit of Pink Pony Club.
Yes, you would. You absolute goose. Are you back here or are you still east?
No, I've got one more mission tomorrow night. Race 10 box 2 Iconic Jet. So
race 10-2.
He's got to run. Yeah, he's got to run top 2 to get through to the semis next week. So if no top 2, I'll be coming home early next week.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Are you going to the game then? Are you staying Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here till probably Tuesday. But I won't be going to the game. Just go to a mate's pub and watch it there. So
good stuff.
A few bevies. So,
good on you, mate.
Be good.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Good luck.
All the best over the weekend, boys, and hopefully the punters can back a winner.
Absolutely. There's Shayne Williams with his tips tonight from Mandurah race 4, number 4, the best. Race 8, number 4, to go along with race 9, number 8, his other specials. And as we said there, $8.50 for Payne Haas.
Make Tab Radio your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily. There is no greater feeling than winning on the punt. And if you fail to prepare, you are prepared to fail. This is the golden hour where knowledge is power. We know life is short. That is why we focus on what really matters, finding winners. Time is the longest distance between now and start time. The clock is ticking.
All right, about to try and find a couple of winners for a massive Saturday of racing here locally, and then, of course, at Flemington and Randwick, and maybe a couple of extras left, right and centre. But before then, Diggers, tipping races, please, and then let us know who's coming up on the Hour of Power.
Yes, MR8, the Turnbull, there at Flemington, SR8, the Epsom, SR9, the Metrop, and then here at Kalgoorlie, CR7, the Golden Saddle, and CR8, the Kalgoorlie Cup. It is a jam-packed hour of power before 7:30. Clint McDonald, John McArdle, Gary Portelli, and Kris Lees. After 7:30, SJ Miller, Shaun McGruddy, Grant Williams, and Sean Casey.
Looking forward to it, and we'll waste no time. We'll kick it off with Clint McDonald taking a look at his chances at Flemington. Clint, thank you very much for your time and a good morning.
Morning, boys. How are we today?
Going very, very well. We may as well start in the Danehill Stakes. It's race number 6 on the program there. Rosberg, we know what sort of impression he made on debut. How's he done since that win?
Yeah, he's done really well, this horse. He's a lovely colt. He trialled at Flemington on the Thursday, and he just had a nice look around, and we didn't ask much of him, but we're very happy with what we saw, and he pulled up extremely well. And then he had a very nice gallop here on Tuesday in company, and they just don't work much better. So we're going there with our tail up, and we think that, we're hoping that people can see the Rosberg that we see at home, because we think he's a special horse, and obviously he's very lightly raced, and we think with that one start under his belt, he'll step out on Saturday and see the real one.
Clint, good morning. How beneficial is it for these young horses to be exposed to the straight for the first time? And I say that when they do a piece of work and or have a jump out.
Oh, it's everything. Straight's quite a daunting track. As you can imagine, the horses are trained to go around a bend every day of their life. So when you go to straight racing, they see the opening sort of bend where they go from the chute to the course proper, and the horses can lose focus. So he was beautiful down there. Ben said he really enjoyed the gallop. And, I think thank you to the VRC for opening it up, because we sort of said, we've got colts here that could be worth millions of dollars, and it's better for the horse and it's better for the punters to see him go down there and see that they can handle it.
All right, barrier number 2 down the straight. Small field probably means that's not so much of an issue?
Yeah, that's right. It's a quality field of 9. We're drawn barrier 2. We've got Ben Mellum in the saddle, who knows the horse extremely well, and it's a good race. There's a number of stakes winners in the race, and everyone's going there thinking they've got the right horse to head towards the Coolmore, and this will answer a lot of questions as Turnbull Stakes Day does.
Clint, could you put a percentage on how much he has improved off what we saw at Moonee Valley on debut?
He's improved a hell of a lot. Hard to put a percentage on, but I know his work on Tuesday. Horses just don't work any better. So I said it in the media. I think he does things that Weekend Hustler used to do, and still believe that. And we just need him to prove us right on Saturday, and so I don't end up with egg on my face.
All right, that's Rosberg. That's a pretty strong push there in the Danehill. Currently the favourite at $4.40 with Tab Touch. Can we move on to the Gilguy, 1,200 metres, Star Patrol, drawn the opposite side of the track, but hopefully by that time of the day, from your perspective, that's the right part of the track. Was very good first up. How's he improved since his first up effort?
He has improved, this horse. He was a long time out of the race course and racing. I thought his run first up was fantastic. I thought he showed plenty of courage, and he's had a wind operation. I reckon probably with 100 to go, he's sort of like, is it going to start to hurt? And then he realised it wasn't hurting him, and he got going again, that horse. So he's come through the race terrific. He worked on his own on Tuesday morning over 1,000, working home 400, and Ben Mellon rode him, was very happy with him. He's come on big time. He'll need to. It's a lot stronger race than the Bobby Lewis. I think a horse like War Machine, he's a terrific horse. He was great through the winter. He's a Stradbroke winner. He's carrying 60 kilos. And then you got like a horse like Nadal, Payline. It's a good little race. So happy with him, and I think he'll look to win at some stage.
Clint, is the market missing something here with Helix in the final event of the day?
He's going really well, that horse, but he's just drawn a terrible gate for him. He's drawn barrier 11. If he had drawn an inside draw, I would have said he's a terrific each-way chance. But I'll probably end up scratching that horse due to the barrier and save him for another day. I think he's going really well, but I just think the barrier doesn't work for him on Saturday.
Back to the top of the program, race number 1, Acid Wash goes around. Was a winner first up last preparation and heads back to the races first up at pretty big odds.
Yeah, no, he's going well, this horse. He's a decent horse. He won very well. He won on protest with the racing gods last time in, and then he pulled a muscle, so we gave him a break. But he's come back well. I think he can run really well, that horse, but I think whatever he does on Saturday, I think he'll improve, only because he's a bit like Star Patrol. He's been out of the racing scene for a little while and maybe a little bit ring rusty, but getting that race start under his belt will really tighten him up well for his second up run.
Okay, and what are you expecting from Streisand in the Maribyrnong trial?
Streisand, she's a beautiful filly. She's trialled up well. She's only had the 2 jump outs. We've been very soft on her. I feel that we've got her on the way up leading into this race. Obviously, there's 12 sort of first starters. We're all going there thinking we've got a nice 2-year-old. At the end of the day, it will come down which horse is the best educated and gets everything right on the day. And she's got the right attitude, this filly, to do that. And I feel that she can jump cleanly. She'll land behind the speed and she'll be very strong late.
All right. Can I just ask also, Star Patrol on Saturday, have you looked past Saturday and what the rest of the campaign looks like?
Oh, it's one of those horses that I feel is probably a genuine Group 3, Group 2 horse. I haven't even spoken to the owners about this. I was actually thinking about this morning. If he won well here, I've always been keen to get him to 1,400. I've always thought he'd be a terrific 1,400-metre horse. Now that he's had the wind off and he can breathe, I just think he would really control a 1,400-metre race. So maybe that race on Derby Day, 1,400 around Flemington, which suits on-speed horses, the 7 furlongs there. I reckon it might be the right race for him if he can run well here on Saturday.
All right, so if our listeners were to have one bet on one of your runners there tomorrow, are we leaning towards Rosberg?
Have all you can on Rosberg.
All right. Bet responsibly, of course, Clint.
Nah, double up.
Good on you, Clint. Best of luck. Thanks for your time this morning, mate.
See you, mate. Bye.
There's Clint McDonald.
He's
all right,
bullish about him, isn't he?
That's as good a push as you're going to get for Rosberg, race 6, number 6.
He is a Spruik colt. There's no question about that. A son of Deep Field, a $750,000 purchase. So if he's to go there and win a Danehill, it's fair to say he's going to find his way to a stud.
Yeah, you would have thought so. Don't talk up the chances too much because we've got John McArdle on the line, and in the Danehill he saddles up McGruddy, an impressive last start winner. John, thank you very much for your time and a good morning.
Yeah, no problems at all, boss.
How are you, John?
Yeah, I'm very well.
Good to hear.
Yeah, all's in good order.
How is my Gladiola, who was a very, very good winner last start?
Yeah, no, she's in great. Come through the run well, probably tightened her up a little bit. She still carries a fair bit of condition, but I think that's just her. Yeah, but she seems to have come through. Her work on Tuesday morning was very good. So now we'll go to the races and see how we go against the colts.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some nice colts in the race as well. How confident are you heading to the races that My Gladiola's going to be able to measure up and be really competitive?
I think she'll run very competitively. Obviously, we've got to take on the Spruik colts, but all the times and that she's ran in her other races have been either very similar to or faster than the colts races on the same day. So sort of that way gives me a bit of a guide. But I think she'll run very, very well. It's obviously a very competitive race. Obviously, Clinton's incredibly confident with his colt. Obviously, seen Tentris trial and work down here at Mornington from the Freedmans. It's obviously going very well. Robbie Griffiths' horse is unbeaten. I mean, the Browns horse, he had a great rep on him and has always shown good ability. So, look, we've no illusion that it's a soft race. There's some really, really nice horses in it. And even Inca Runa, she was hitting the line strongly behind us last start. But I think my filly's in good order. She's won down the straight, so I'm sure she'll run competitively.
Are you Coolmore bound post tomorrow, provided everything goes according to plan, John?
Tomorrow will tell us whether we go there or not. If she runs well, she'll be heading to the Coolmore.
All right, earlier on in the day, race number 4 on the program, Yum goes around. She's won her last 2 starts. Do you think this filly improves up to 1,600 metres?
I think so. I think the further the better with her. She's a very nice filly. She's a bit untapped. Bit of an awkward drawing barrier 10, but she'll go back anyway. So hopefully there's a bit of speed in the race, and Jamie will be able to just find a back and just get her to go to sleep. And she does have a very good turn of foot, so I've been looking forward to getting her to Flemington on the big track and seeing how well she can let down. But her work Tuesday morning was lovely and strong. All the data's good, so Jamie was happy with us, so we're happy going to the races.
John, you talk about her getting further than a mile. She's a 3-year-old. They're only 3 once. Could we see her go around in some group races, i.e. a Group 1 Oaks later this spring?
Well, she runs well tomorrow, then the obvious plan is to go to the 1,000 Guineas. But yes, the plan is always to look towards the Oaks. She's a late November foal, so even if she ran in the Oaks, she wouldn't be 3 when she did it. So I am quite mindful of that. And if at any stage she showed us a sign that she was not coping, then she'd be going to the paddock. I think she'll be a better 4-year-old and 5-year-old than what she is now. So we are mindful of that. But if she holds together well enough, then she'll be headed towards an Oaks.
All right, you've got a couple of going around at Matoa as well tomorrow, but of your 4 runners on Saturday, which way would you push our listeners if they were to have one bet?
Well, the 2 at Matoa will probably be scratched from bad barriers, so that sort of narrows us back to a couple.
That's easy.
I think they'll both run really competitively, but if you were to ask me for one, it'd be Yum, purely because the strength of the competition in the Danehill, I think, makes it a tougher race. But I think both will run really well.
All right, beautiful. That's Yum Race 4, number 4, currently with Tab Touch. Each way quote as well, $7 and $2.30. Thank you very much for your time, John, and all the best tomorrow.
No worries. Thank you.
There's John McArdle taking a look at his chances. Yum, and then My Gladiola. 1,000 Guineas bound for Yum, and then hopefully, I'd say up against it to get to an Oaks with her being born so late in the season.
Yes, you would think so, but John knows her better than you and I, so we'll see how she goes tomorrow, but he's quite bullish that she'll run well. The step to the mile's not going to be any impediment listening to John there, so she's a watch. She's getting, what is it, around $6.50, something like that, Yum?
$7.
Well, there you go. So watch this space. Fascinating, the discussion, read the Danehill, like Jules Valance, along with some others, are of the view that the current 3-year-old crop, where does it sit? Yet you listen to Clint talk about his colt and really bullish about his talent levels, talks him, in the same breath as a weekend hustler. And My Gladiola, really talented filly as well, and legacy bound, we know, Tentris, so I think there's still going to be enormous interest in that race tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. At the moment, it looks very even, but if Rosberg comes out and does what Clint McDonald thinks Rosberg's going to do, he might put his hand well and truly up in the sky and put it forward. We'll stay in Flemington just for the moment. Kris Lees does have one going around in the Turnbull. He joins us on the Sports Daily now. Kris, a good morning to you.
Yeah, morning, guys.
How's Adelaide River going?
Yeah, really happy with him. He found his best form in the Kingston Town a fortnight ago. We were considering the Metropolitan Handicap. Obviously, class-wise, it's a little softer. We come up with 18 early, so we're happy to give him his chance in a Turnbull Stakes, which is a lovely leading traditionally into a Melbourne Cup. So Profiles is a nice setup for him.
Kris, can you just talk us through that decision? You say Metrop, Turnbull. What sways you one way over the other?
Yeah, look, obviously the Turnbull Stakes, quality-wise, it's a mini Cox plate. But he had 2 soft runs at 1,400 and a mile. He was good at 2,000 metres. He's a big gross horse. Just whether a testing mile and a half, as much as I still thought he'd have a chance, what that would do to him going forward from a Caulfield Cup perspective. So, a tough mile and a half race 2 weeks out, it just may not have been the right play. So we just withdrawing barrier 18. So we thought we'd go to Melbourne for a Turnbull Stakes. He's got a middle type of gate. He'll run well. He'd, no doubt a few of these proven weight for age performers will be very hard to beat. But we're expecting to run well and set up nicely for a fortnight.
All right, so how do you get to the Melbourne Cup?
Sorry?
How do you get to the Melbourne Cup? What the runs in between?
Well, we'll get to the Caulfield Cup and then we'll assess which way we go from there.
All right, so with him out of the Metrop, that leaves you with changing of the guard. A last start winner is all in preparation for tomorrow.
Yeah, he's racing really well. He's been running over this trip throughout the preparation with plenty of gaps between his runs. Very bright and well. Obviously, there'll be a lot more pressure tomorrow than what he found where he got that nice loose lead, albeit he's so well rated by James that day. But he'll take up a forward position and he'll appreciate coming down in the weights, and I expect him to run well.
Do you think you'll find the lead?
It's not imperative he leads. He's just got he hasn't got a big change of speed, so he'll be in the first 3 or 4, I'd suggest, and it'll come down to just that tempo. But he's got to be running along at a nice sectional throughout, whether that means he's in front or second or third or so be it. Has
he always shown you that he'd be getting to this sort of Group 1 level at this distance range? You've always had that opinion of him?
And probably even over further in time. We're hopeful to get him to a Melbourne Cup, but this does look a nice option for him tomorrow.
Kris, are you committed to running Cloudland from that gate in the final event of the day at Randwick?
Yeah, we are. We were considering our options. He won the Greys race in Melbourne last year, running on this Saturday prior, and that was always our plan, so we're going to stick to the plan. Then he's got a nice gap in. He likes his run spaced. He's 2 out of 3 this preparation, keeping his space, and he'll run tomorrow. He's going to need luck, obviously, from that draw, but it'll set up again for the Greys race, which is on Oaks Day.
All right, beautiful. You take 5 to the races at Doomben as well on Saturday. Is there a winner there?
Yeah, I think Impercent, she'll appreciate the drop in grade. She's going from a stakes race back to a no metro win. And importantly for her, she's got a soft draw around Doomben. She'll run well.
Beautiful. That's race 2, number 1 there at Doomben on Saturday. All right, can we have a bet on changing in the guard, do you think? Is that the best way to play your team Saturday?
Yeah, I think each way changing the guard is a good bet.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for your time, Kris. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
There's Kris Lee's taking a look at his team, so that's a good report on chasing in the guard.
Yeah, very.
As he mentioned, did get away with, not a soft lead, but a lead with no pressure last time out at Randwick there in the Tats Club in the lead-up, and that was just under a month ago, so appreciates the spaces between runs.
Exactly. So
gets a top 5 jockey in Australia, Ethan Brown, to jump on board.
He's flying, isn't he, Ethan Brown? He's flying. He's a very popular rider at the moment, and we know that he's linking up again with Jimmy Starr up there for Kieran. And then all roads lead to an Everest in a fortnight's time.
Absolutely exciting. You need to put your best foot forward.
Did you have a thought in the Metrop?
In the Metrop?
Yes.
No. I'll follow Jules Valance in. They're very keen. The Foxcatcher crew on Soul of Spain. Very keen on that form in the Newcastle Cup.
Hard to poke holes in the form of Soul of Spain. And listening to Karen McAvoy during the week, as I said, TC, listened to him on Wednesday. He may be dictated to by that barrier aboard Birdman, but he said would be riding him quite conservatively. He's of the view that he's a better chaser. He felt that he just floated a little bit when he got to the front at his most recent start, when he duly won. That was the Kingston Town. I'll stand corrected there.
Correct.
Yeah. So, look, watch for him to be strong late.
If our listeners did miss the chat with Nick Ashman yesterday, though, his track intel is telling him that probably middle to wide draws aren't going to be much of a disadvantage there tomorrow at Randwick. Probably lanes 1, 2 and 3 might be a little bit inferior, so if you're making those runs down the middle of the track in the straight, you might not be that disadvantaged. That might be the way to go, so that probably sets up well for Birdman.
And Nathan Doyle's saying he is of the view that Private Harry would need to run top 3 and show considerable improvement to be worthy of a place in the Everest. But he thinks he's...
Tap?
Yulong, isn't he?
Yulong, is he?
Yeah, Yulong, Private Harry. So I think Yulong purchased a fair chunk of him. But so, Private Harry, it might not be match point, but it's getting very close to that stage, it would seem, there tomorrow. So let's hope that he does put his best foot forward.
Charmstone's heading that way?
Charmstone heading that way for Mulberry Racing. So that's a good addition. She's a good mare. She comes off that win last week. It was a solid effort and an on-speed night at Moonee Valley, as it often can be, but she'd need to elevate again, you would think.
SJ Miller, Shaun McGruddy, Grant Williams and Sean Casey to join us all after 7:30 here on the Sports Daily, Hour of Power.
Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
All right, update us with the tipping races, Diggers. Just once again, please.
Yes, the Group 1 Turnbull, MR8, up there at Sydney. SR8, the Group 1 Epsom. SR9, the Group 1 Metrop. You just heard there from Kris Lees. And here in Western Australia, the big day at Kalgoorlie. CR7, the $1 million Golden Saddle, and CR8, the time-honoured Kalgoorlie Cup.
All right, we heard you with the San Francisco 49ers this morning.
Yes, I am.
Got a little bit of feedback.
Don't care.
Oh, I didn't think you would. I was just mentioning it.
No, I'm happy. I am happy to back them straight out. And
Mac Jones, your man?
Yeah, well, Mac Jones. And I'm happy to back them at the line.
All right, $3.10 in the Golden Saddle. Magnificent Andy is the favourite. $5.50. Twain's Angel Yongalas at $6.50. Snowdome at $8.50. Final Siren at $9.50. $12 heading the remainder. Bravo Centurion and Storm Chaser. So we spoke about the race yesterday. You were with Magnificent Andy?
I certainly am. I think he's the best horse in this race. He's proven at weight for age, and he gets the services of Brad. He gets headgear on, and SJ's targeted this race a long way out.
Absolutely. So you go back to last preparation. He ran a cracker first up in the Quokka. He ran second in the Northern Stakes behind West Star. He ran second in the Belmont Sprint behind the Boss Lady. He ran second in the Hyperion behind Western Empire, who on that day put in one of the best performances of the WA racing season. He was stiff. I think SJ thought he was going to win that race, and I think a lot of people did until Western Empire got him. But the horse is a beauty, and SJ's got a really good handle on him. We'll welcome him into the Sports Daily this morning. SJ Miller, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning, boys.
How are you, S?
Yeah, good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. How is Magnificent Andy ahead of tomorrow's assignment?
Yeah, look, he's pretty spot on. I think he's come through the trials good. I thought he trialled probably better this campaign than last campaign, and he hasn't had a bad day this prep, so really pleased with him.
All right, so are you able to compare him to first up last preparation when he ran such a good race in the Quokka?
Probably similar going into it, I'd say. Probably, if anything, he's, might be a little bit under for this, but I've tried to keep him fresh for the 1200. So he's all good.
S, how much better is he when you do put the headgear on him?
He switches on a heck of a lot. He sort of concentrates a lot more race day, and I think it's just natural race day. He's a pretty competitive horse, so there's no sense in sort of putting it on in the trials. And as I said, I've been pretty pleased with his trials. So,
how much confidence do you take, or is it not so much of an issue, the fact that he's had a spin around Kalgoorlie and spun around effectively?
Look, the trip shouldn't knock him, and the track shouldn't really knock him. He's been there and done that, so it's a good field, and they're going to go pretty hard. If it was a 1400, I'd be very confident with him leading into it.
Right, and if you're able to pick a barrier, I dare say barrier number 4 would have been pretty high on that list.
Yeah, 6 would have been ideal, I thought, but you got to cop it.
You got to cop it.
You can't get everything you want, SJ.
Better than 12. Better than 12.
No doubt about that. Your maths is excellent. Now, in all seriousness, what would it mean to win this race? Not only it's a very wealthy race, but for David, who's been a significant supporter of yours, and we know his links to Kalgoorlie.
Yeah, look, both me and David go back a long way, and we've both had a lot of success in the bigger races at Kalgoorlie, and being the first time this race has been on, and I don't know whether both of us are going to be here long enough to last a couple more, but it'd be a great honour. It'd be a real great honour to win a race like this.
What does the campaign look like after Saturday?
Look, he's, he just keeps on coming back, and he'll, go, I don't know, a couple of weight for age races and probably go into the railway. And I'll probably give him a run in that 1800, because it's a weight for age, and there's not very many options to go with him, but I think this campaign I can give him a crack at the 1800. He's an amazing little horse. He sort of comes up better every campaign to me. So, yeah.
Now, earlier in the day, you've got More Than Enough. This time last year, I think he was winning on Hannon's Day. He goes around in a graduation 1760 and is the favourite with Tab Touch. Can he bounce back into the winner's stall?
Yeah, well, his runs have been good in Perth, and he can handle the track and the distance, and it's not a bad field. It's only a small field, but it's a pretty competitive race. But he's pretty spot on going into it, so I'd expect him to be right up there.
Oh, you got barrier number 6.
Yeah, well, he probably needs number 6. He doesn't. I didn't really give a buggeroo with him drawing 6. Brad will be off the track anyway. He'll be in the middle of the track somewhere along the line.
And he improves on top of the ground too. He's had to deal with those heavy and soft tracks in Perth, but getting to Kalgoorlie on a good track's going to suit him.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. He is better on top of the ground for sure.
Are both horses there yet, S? Are you there, or are they heading up today?
No, they'll be going up in the morning. I'll be driving them up in the morning, so and get there for the races. So they're all fine at the moment. So long as we have a good trip, I'll be happy.
Excellent. Best of luck. Thanks so much for your time this morning, mate.
Okay, thanks a lot. Catch you guys.
S.J. Miller there, of course, Magnificent Andy, the favourite in the Golden Saddle, and that's as good a push as you're probably going to get from S.J. Maybe a small question mark, 1,200 metres, but gee whiz, the form on the board to say the 1,200 metres hasn't really bothered him in the past.
And SJ telegraphed it, didn't he, 3-4 months ago? He said, I'll get him there fresh. He'll be there fresh off the back of a couple of trials. We know he'll be strong at the back end of 12. Yep. And he might have to be because they are going to march in this race.
Yep, and SJ wasn't there Hannon's Day, so he'll be nice and fresh as well.
Yeah, which is important.
Absolutely. All right, Shaun McGruddy's got some nice rides on the program. The first getting underway in race number 5, and Odinaka, who's been in really good form of late. So welcome him into the Sports Daily. Shaun, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Very well, Shaun. Great to have a chat to you. We might start with the Golden Saddle and the old boy, Red Can Man. Have you been aboard him in track work?
I have, yes. I have. It's going to be some training performance from Wolfie if he can get this horse up to win. Obviously, first time at the races for quite a while. Hasn't had time to have a trial, so fitness is sort of against him, but what I can tell you is he's never felt as good in his action for probably 3 or 4 years, and that's no exaggeration. So probably can't sort of say what he's had done, something to do with a joint in front. It's probably more for the trainer to talk about, but the result is he's never felt as good. So, yeah, just if we can just sort of lob into a nice position from the barrier, which is a little bit sticky with Twain's Angel drawing down to my inside, and if you can have a soft run, he'll be there for a long way.
And we know he's done a heap of high-class racing over a very long time, Shaun. This significant break that he's had, because we haven't seen him since a Gold Rush, that might work in his favour as well. Is that possible?
Look, he's a big, strong horse. I'm not sure exactly how many weeks' work he's had. So, look, there's no residual fitness there from that point of view. But, I would have liked barrier 1 or 2, just where he could have done no work at all.
Yep.
But, yeah, look, he's like you say, he's raced against better horses in this lot. It's just the time between runs, I guess, is the concern.
Okay, so that is still a good push for Red Can Man, the 9-year-old who's done, as TC quite rightly mentioned, a power of work and raced at the high level at a very good standard for a long period of time. Now, what about Curramundi, who gets to the Kalgoorlie Cup off the back of a 1,400 and also a 1,650? So he hits this race tomorrow, third up, 2,300, Shaun.
Yeah, look, he's very much in the same boat, isn't he? Third up, like you say, 2,300 Kalgoorlie Cup, but what's in his favour is quite the opposite to Red Can Man. He's got residual fitness there. He was in work for probably 9 months last preparation, and at the back end of that campaign won a Pinjarra Cup. So he's got residual fitness there. Soft barrier helps. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's there for a long way either.
All right, and he likes the 2,300. He's had one run for one win at the distance. Back earlier in the day, race number 5, Odinaka racing in really good form. Drawn barrier number 1. Should get another chance to notch a win on the board, shouldn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Look, he's almost in career best form. He's racing with a lot of confidence. hardly been out of a place this campaign. The only thing is for him, the last sort of 2 preparations, he's shown that he really needs to get his toe in the ground, probably a soft 5 or worse. So obviously he won't get that there tomorrow, but barrier 1 and a horse in confidence, he should get his chance again, like you say. All right, Shaun, now you have been named on Under Influence, who raced at Geraldton on Wednesday. You could probably know about as much as him as we do in here. Yeah, Dan just said that if he pulled up well, he'd go around again. So I thought it was a good run there on Wednesday. Another 100 metres, he probably would have won. So, yeah, hopefully he's pulled up well, he can go around again. Who would be the best of your 4? On paper, I'd say Odinaka, but obviously hoping that one of them can bob up in one of the big ones.
All right, fingers crossed. So all the best tomorrow, Shaun.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There's Shooter McGruddy. So that's a good push for Red Cam Man. Good to hear that he's come back and he's probably feeling as good as he ever has. He's a very good horseman, Steve Wolf. This would be, I dare say, the crowning moment if he can get that horse to win a weight for age off no trials. And last time we saw him was midway through December, as you said, in a gold rush at 9 years of age now. You'd love a stable full of Red Cam. Oh, yeah, he's been a ripper. Hasn't the mare been a burster as well? So his guts out all the time. Yeah, he's a ripper, no doubt about that. So, look, it's a daunting assignment, but it is $1 million. And if he's well and bright, and as Shaun said, he feels enormous. So that's a good push. Speaking about people that try their guts out all the time, Grant Williams joins us on the Sports Daily. Puff, good morning to you.
G'day, TC. G'day, Diggers.
How are you, Grant?
Yes, good. Thank you, Diggers.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Thank you for picking up.
A few days to get over our grand final episode, but other than that, it was pretty good.
It took you. I'm still getting over it. Now, not about you. Starry Heights, Kalgoorlie Cup tomorrow. Firstly, how did you walk away from the Boulder Cup?
Yeah, it wasn't. I was happy enough. Pikey was pretty confident with the way he ran and the way what he thought going into the next one. I think the best thing with him is last year's Boulder Cup run was his best, and that was the second time we took him to Kalgoorlie that prep. So I'm sort of, relying on that. Pretty happy with the horse, what he's done since then. So, yeah, we're going up there knowing that if we can sort of get a bit of luck, that we probably should be at the pointy end. What is it about Kalgoorlie and this horse that goes so well together? Yeah, I'm not sure, because when you bring him back here, he's just sort of gets put into the average category. But he loves Kalgoorlie, must love the travel better than I do. So, Cal's good for him. It's been good for us with him. So hopefully we can, have another good run tomorrow. I'm sure he'll run well. He always does there in Kalgoorlie. Now, what about Yongalas Fresh in what promises to be a hot golden saddle, Grant? Yeah, well, obviously, we've got that gate, but I think it's perfect for her digs. She goes best when she's, left alone early, and she's got that big booming finish. We're pretty happy with where she's at. Her first trial was really good. We needed to get a fair bit out of the second trial, so I asked Willie to bounce her out and put her on speed just to so we got a fair bit out of it, and we did. She probably got a touch tired just at the end, but her work since then has been pretty good. Her gallop on Wednesday morning was great. So going up there under no illusions, but knowing that if they run the race upside down, which on paper could look, it could be a chance to do that, we'll be getting home really good late. Grant, in all of your experience, what has experience told you about horses who are having a crack at weight for age for the first time or probably haven't handled it previously, as opposed to horses who have been exposed to weight for age like this mare? Yeah, look, I think it's definitely a different step up. She's lucky enough that, she goes in and gets a weight that, she's pretty comfortable carrying. And then obviously the boys are got to carry a little bit more. But, it's, they definitely need to have experience. She's proven that she can run good races with this sort of weight. And we've trained her for this, which is always going to be a bonus. All right, so she ran third in the Joey first up last preparation. Do you think she's in better order this time in? I do. She had a better break this time and come into us in a lot better order. Butchie was able to keep a little bit of weight off her this time, which is good. He was probably the first couple of preps he was still still playing her videos and all the wins that she'd been doing, and just kept feeding her. And it was hard work getting her, up to peak fitness. But this time she come back in ripping nick. We haven't had a problem with her at all during the prep, which is always, that's always a positive, and we're really happy with where she's at today.
Can Immortal Bliss win the Ron Sayers sprint?
Yeah, I'd hope so, Diggs. He sort of, he could have been unbeaten, really. He got beat by a sharp one of Adams, in on that soft track that day, and we probably pushed the button a touch early. It was a rip and ride by Clint, got over him, and then he obviously got beat the other day, but I'd actually had something on the other day, so I wasn't that happy when he got beat. And then the report come back from Larne straight away when I rang up Blue, and that, the leader just run into him 2 or 3 times in the last 100, 150, so that probably could have cost us the win there. But we go up there. Obviously, he's got to travel up, which is a unknown, but I think this will hold him in good stead for future preparations. I think it toughens him up a little bit. This is a really good grade for him. I'm not worried about the draw. I think it's probably better for him to let the speed go a little bit. Hopefully it's running a bit truer on Saturday, the track. There was lots of leaders that were winning yesterday, but there is good grass coverage on it, and hopefully they just took a bit of sting out of that fast lane that was on the inside, and we can see some horses stemming down the middle of the track, and if we can, that's probably going to suit a few of mine tomorrow.
All right, so more importantly, are you backing up again tomorrow? Are you having a bet on him?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm going to go get some money off Jared today at golf, and then we'll be straight to Kalgoorlie tomorrow.
It's been a while since that happened, hasn't it?
Oh, no, he was in fire
it's
last
been happening
week.
a little bit. Yeah.
Oh.
But he's got some new sticks today, so I reckon I'll get him.
You reckon you'll get him? Well, he had 35 points, you told me last Saturday.
Oh, I'm pretty happy.
It was something like that, Diggs.
Yeah.
It was 34 actually. I must have had one too many Jimmies when I told you that. But I think you'd be too worried about cleaning these new sticks today, so I reckon I'll be able to get him.
Now, there's unconfirmed reports that you were on the range last week before you hit off the first tee. Is that right? You've never been on a range.
Blokes at Rio. I probably was mistaken with someone else, I reckon.
No, I don't think so. I've got video of you hitting golf balls on the range. You've changed.
I'll be doing it again.
Good on you, mate. Best of luck tomorrow. Thanks for your time this morning.
Catch you later. See ya.
There's Grant Williams. Spoke to him about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He was retiring from golf.
Yeah, we've all retired. He just keeps bringing you back. But no, he was up and about last Saturday. He had a good day at the golf course on the previous day, and he felt like he was back. So we'll find out today how he goes.
It's amazing how it just takes one round or one putt or one shot and you're back.
He said, I hit some balls on the range. I think that might be the recipe. I said, oh, really?
Practice.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's a good push, though, for Yonga Lass, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Good push.
Going a little bit better than last preparation. Nothing's gone wrong, so she heads there. We'll need a little bit of luck, as we spoke about yesterday, from that draw and need the pace to be on, but... other than that, in fine fettle, will stay with the Golden Saddle as well, because Shaun Casey takes a nice team to the Golden Saddle, Hanchy and Twain's Angel. Shaun, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, boys.
How's Twain's Angel going?
Very good. Yeah, very happy with her. All systems go.
The trial, the recent one, Shaun, were you happy to see that or relieved to see that after what we saw the first time? I know she wasn't out there to break any records at that initial trial.
Yeah, in that initial trial, it was a very wet track that day. But to keep on our target, we had to gallop her.
Yep.
But yeah, she was very well in hand and came through that well. And the second trial being a better track, we took it to the outside and let her stride, and she So there wasn't a relief. It was just that, it was a next stage after that heavy weather.
All right. How did she spell? How has she come back?
She looked. I think the way she looked on at the trials at Lark Hill, that she's spelled well and done well, and she went out on a high. She went out on a 2-win high, and everything's. We've been very lucky with her.
What about the stablemate? Was really good in that recent 1,000-metre event. That we know. He was a good winner on that occasion, and he trialled up particularly well as well, Shaun.
Yeah, he had just a pipe opener the other day at Lark Hill found the line really well. Again, the purpose is the race on Saturday, and he's had a perfect prep up as well, in view of dodging soft tracks and all the rest of it. And his last start win was, very, very, very good. So, yeah, he's got to be a fourth.
Who would be the best of those two in your eyes in the Golden Saddle, given Twain's Angel was proven at the 1200?
Well, I think both of them, I would be on. I think Lucky Running's going to play the part in who goes the better, and I can't decide on that. But the two horses are in fine fettle, and they're both proven open class gallopers.
Yep.
All right, good report there for both Hanchy and Twain's Angel in the Golden Saddle. The race prior, the Ron Sayers Sprint, you take Angel Undercover back to the races on the quick spinner, and I imagine you were very pleased with what she was able to do last week at Belmont.
Yeah, it was a super run. Nothing really went right for her, but it was a very good run. The winner was well deserved, but she proved that she's back to not being too far away from a win.
Are you committed to running her under the 61.5 if she doesn't get a run in the Golden Saddle?
I will have to decide that tomorrow and find out what's going on. It's all been geared if she does happen to get a run in the Golden Saddle, but we'll just watch your space until tomorrow morning.
Yep, fair enough.
All right, can Snow Prince or Ain't No Other Man play a part in the finish there in the Ron Sayers? You've got two other chances in the race.
Yeah, Ain't No Other Man won the Ron Sayers 2 years ago, and he's in great nick. He'll be right there in the finish, I reckon. And Snow Prince, he ran fourth in a 1300 a couple of weeks ago at Cal. Surprising, showed a lot of speed and led. He should be a real good chance. It's a race I'd be very proud to win again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good luck in both of those feature races tomorrow, Shaun. I'm sure we'll catch up very shortly.
Okay, good. See you guys.
There's Shaun Casey. So positive reports both from Hanchy and Twain's Angel, and I continue to get the feeling you'll be with Hanchy over Twain's Angel.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I'm getting increasingly keen about Magnificent Andy. I really am. He's still $3.10 with Tab Touch and heads up the market. $5.50 Twain's Angel on the second line, and then on the third line at $6.50 is Yonga Lass.
Gamble responsibly. $3.10 Magnificent Andy.
Yeah, I like him. I just think he's
best horse.
He's the best horse at the. He's still off what we witnessed last campaign. We don't know this time because he hasn't raced, but off what we saw last time, he was matching motors with some pretty good ones.
We'll be back shortly on the Sports Daily to wrap it up before the Gloucester Park preview boys get in the chair.